Welcome back to Third Power Life podcast. Today's episode is a live that I did a week or so ago back, and this was right before I launched my very first Quest Find Your Personal Purpose program, the first beta, I guess you could call it the alpha launch. I do have another launch coming up in a week or two. You can go to in the show notes, I'll have a link to that if you're interested in finding your personal purpose. This live was really around being a commander. The the live that I did before was about the drifter, and this is really more about being the commander and how to take charge of your life. So, going to be an excellent episode. This was a live that was done, a few weeks back. If you want to be part of the next class, join now. Welcome to my journey of self-discovery, life balance, career success, and business creation. This podcast works to answer the question of how successful professionals like us stop drifting and get focused on keeping our careers and businesses growing rapidly while having a full, balanced, and vibrant life that we absolutely love. What we call the Third Power Life. And this is the Third Power Life podcast. All right. Welcome, everyone, to my second live stream this week, leading up to the big class on Saturday for Find Your Personal Purpose. Yesterday, I talked quite a bit about being a drifter. And, this comes from my TEDx talk that I had. There's the link there. I will also put that into the chat for those of you that don't want to have to type it, because I know I would rather click than type. But yesterday I talked a lot about the drifter's dilemma, right? And what does it mean to be a drifter? What what are the dangers? What are the pain points around being a drifter? Having a life that doesn't have meaning. And I wanted to spend some time today to talk about the opposite of a drifter, the commander, right? And hello, April. Good to see you. Glad you're on. And so, you can see it here on my screen. I keep that as a background to, I am a commander, right? And the whole idea of being a commander is having somebody that is you're in charge of your own life. You're not just drifting through, and whatever life throws at you, you'll take, right? It's you have a purpose, and that's what the commander mindset. The definition of a commander is somebody who has a clear personal purpose. They know who they are, they know why they're here, they know what they're after, and they're going forward towards that. I mean, that's really, if you want to boil it down to its most basic level, that's what a commander is. It's somebody who knows their personal purpose and goes after it, right? And what kind of comes with that? Okay. Because yes, I've got a clear purpose. I had one of my old bosses used to tell me that 90% of success is clarity of purpose, right? And that's very true for you know for us as people. We need to have that clarity of purpose. Where are we trying to go? Because with clarity of purpose, with our personal purpose, we have independent thought, right? We can confidently make decisions. In my TEDx talk, I talked about whenever decisions come at us, if we've got a purpose, we've got that lighthouse in the distance, right? And we can look at a decision and anything, either big or small, that comes towards us, and it's, does this take me towards my purpose or away from it? And by that simple clarity, we can either say to whatever decision it is, either hell yes or no. And I'm here to tell you that for the decisions that you're facing, for the choices that you need to make in your life, you're It either needs to be hell yes or no. There is just not enough time. There's not enough energy in our lives for anything but a hell yes. If it's like, I don't know, maybe, that could be a good choice. No, not acceptable, right? Because that's how we build ourselves. That's how we move ourselves forward, is having that hell yes. Because that's how we're able to have resilience to handle adversity when it comes, because it will come. There will be adversity. There nothing good is ever easy, right? There are challenges, and I would love to tell you that all you have to do is take my course, become a commander, and you will have no more problems ever. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. And so, to be able to have that resilience to handle adversity, you need to have that clarity of purpose, that solid point within yourself to be able to do those things, right? And because it's about emotional control, right? And staying positive even in the difficult times, because there always are. There will be difficult times, um, and that's what a commander is able to keep themselves under control, because they have persistence, they have determination, they understand that a little bit of trouble is not going to cause issues, right? And I forgot to turn off my phone, so let's do that now, right? Um, we have determination, we have persistence. We know that we're going to keep going no matter what, right? The example I like to use when we're talking about what is having a purpose and having that persistence and that no matter what. Um, how many of you would you gotta there's you come up to a house and the house is on fire, and the owner goes, I left $20 on the dresser in there. Can you go save it? Who's gonna go in and save $20? Run into a burning house to save $20? Nobody, right? But somebody says, my baby's in there, or your child is in there. If your child were in there, are you going to be running into that burning building to save them? You bet, because that's important. That's my purpose. That's my legacy. It's my child, right? We need to have that same level of ownership and and passion about our own purpose and where we're trying to go with our lives. And I'm literally trying to change the world, right? Yes, I will run into a burning building for my purpose, right? I have that persistence, that determination. The other thing that a commander has is strong self-discipline, right? We know that we have to keep moving forward towards our goals, towards our purpose, and we will do that tirelessly. And part of the way that we do that is we make sure that we are building an environment that is positive. I talk about building a fortress amount around your mindset, your social circle, the peers that you hang out with, the people that you associate with need to be positive, need to be taking you where you want to go in life, right? Because it's a sad thing, but the five people that you hang around with most, that's who you're going to most be like, right? So so one of the questions that I am often asked is, how do I go from a drifter to a commander, right? What's that process, right? And the reality of it is, um, for those that are interested, I have created a survey that will kind of say, here's where you are in the drifter commander spectrum, right? But the reality of it is that in order to move from the drifter to the commander, is is to recognize the drifter tendencies in yourself. It's self-reflection, right? That's what got me here. You listen to my TEDx talk, and I talk about I was a drifter, even though I was technically successful. I mean, most people would look at me. I had a six-figure salary, and I had the all of the cool electronics and all of the toys and all of that. I was successful. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have a plan. My plan was work hard, get promoted, make more money, repeat until you die. Not a good plan, right? So the first step is to recognize that we all have drifter qualities, right? And it's then embracing the need for personal change, for personal development, to step outside of our comfort zones, even just a little bit. It doesn't have to be I'm going to go skydiving, right? It doesn't have to be that level of going outside the comfort zone. Just a little bit is more than enough. And so it's interesting, in when I was doing creating that kind of the survey that I've got here up on the screen. Actually, let me paste the link to that in here, so you don't have to type it all out, because nobody likes to type it all out. Um, when I was going through this, I was like, there are 5 stages that we go through, right? The stage one is where we're a drifter, right? Um, we don't have a clear purpose. We're struggling with lots of different aspects of our life. We feel like we've got this wasted potential. That I could be so much more. I still remember I was listening to a program. I think it was Dean Graciosi that he was talking about one of the marketing pieces. He goes, you know, I realized that I stopped and thought, at this point in my life, I thought I would be better. I thought it would be more. Right? I thought I'd be farther along in my life by now. I don't know if you've ever had that feeling. I know I have. I sure thought by this point in my life I'd be a lot farther along than I am. And I'm here to tell you, if you don't move out of the drifter persona, what you've got had in the last 10 years is what you're going to get in the next 10 years. We have to make a change. And so that's where I want to help you. So that's the first level, is drifter. The next level is a seeker, right? We're we're beginning to see there's a better way than just drifting through life, than just having this mediocre life, right? And so, we know that we need to grow, but it's still very early. We've said, "Oh, I need to take a course. I need to understand how things work," but I'm just not there yet, right? And that's fantastic, right? To seek is the beginning. To know that there's a way forward, there's a way for you to move and become more and become what you were destined to become. Excuse me just a second. Salud. So our next step so first you're a drifter, and then you're a seeker. And then you move to the next phase, which is I call the navigator, right? Um, we've started to have some success, both, in our life, in air quotes success, what society calls success. But more importantly, we may have some inkling of what is our why, what is our purpose. We've started to work on our personal development, and we've made some progress, at least in some areas of our lives, but there are more that we need to move and go forward with. And that's a great place to be, right? That's in the middle of the path. You're on your way. You're navigating towards a brighter future. Now the next step is to become the pioneer. You're almost a commander. You're almost there, right? um you're starting to get an idea of your purpose. You're creating some good relationships. You've got a good circle of people around you. um You're starting to experience some resilience in the face of adversity. We know there's more to come, but we're working on ourselves and we're making progress and we can feel it. We can feel the momentum moving us forward. And then finally, we get to the commander phase. And this is the highest level, right? We've got a clear purpose. We've got a good circle. We've got strong relationships supporting us. We have that fortress built around our mindset. We know that adversity comes and goes, success comes and goes, and it's okay. We deal with it, right? um and this is where the legacy really comes into play, because once you become a commander, now you can start to affect others. You start to have the ability to make a difference in other people's lives. And I can tell you that is the greatest feeling in the world. There is nothing quite as wonderful as making a difference in somebody's life, truly. So if you go to the commander score, take the test. It's 10 questions, right? It's not this long drawn out thing. 10 questions, rank where you are, right? And it will give you where you are on this path, right? And what your next steps really need to be. And I would really love to hear where you are. And so take the survey, respond, give it the quote, tag me on social media. You can reply to this live stream, whatever. Here's where I am. I'm a navigator, I'm a seeker, I'm a pioneer, I'm a commander, right? I would love to hear of that, right? And this is what I love to do. This is my passion. This is my personal purpose, is to help you find yours, right? And now I do want to say that along that line, part of the one of the things that I am doing this Saturday, right? We've got 4 days, 3 days. Um, I'm doing my very first class. I'm taking what I talked about in my TEDx talk, what I've been talking about here, and actually creating a class around that. This is a half day seminar, I think from like 2 to 6, something like that, on Saturday, to really go through and help you find your personal purpose, right? It's help you understand what are the steps to making a breakthrough in your life, right? And you know how to change the stories that we've been telling ourselves, and how to make that purpose real, how to move yourself forward in being a commander. And even if you're already a commander, how to do it, take it to the next level, how to teach it, how to move yourself forward. So I would absolutely love if you want to help me, because this is the beta of this class, right? I've put everything into it, but I know that it can be better, and I would love your help in making this class better. So you can go to the link that I will put in the chat now. There's that one. Yes, there we go. So it's thirdpowerperformance.com/the quest course. And I love what I'm doing here. I absolutely love it. I am super excited for any of you to join me here. It's going to be amazing, because my biggest thing. Excuse me again. Yeah, my big thing is I don't want anybody to be stuck as a drifter. I don't want anybody to be stuck in the ruts of life. Go to work, go home, go to work, come home, work hard, get promoted, make more money, repeat until you die. That's not what we're here for. Our souls are meant for so much more. Our souls are, as human beings, we want to experience the broad experience of life. And yet so much of us are focused on that narrow little piece that is work. And yet we let that narrow piece that is work suck our life away. I don't want that for you. I really don't. I want you to be a commander in your life. I want you to make a difference in the world. And that's what being a commander is all about. Finding your purpose. How are you going to make the world a better place because you were here? And do that. Make that your legacy. Because money doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Riches don't matter. Things don't matter. It's what are we leaving behind? Now, don't get me wrong. I like my money. I like my stuff. But it's not truly important. What is truly important is what are we leaving for our future? What legacy are we creating? What are we leaving for our families? What lessons have we taught our children? What lessons have we handed down, even if you don't have children? Who is going to change because you were in their world? That's legacy. That's purpose. That's what I want for you. So, thank you for listening. I know this has been about 20 minutes, and I appreciate you very much. Please comment. I would love it if you would share this. Take your take your commander score. Find out where you are, and join me on Saturday for the quest course. I would love to see you there. I would love your feedback. So, until next time, my friends, keep living your life to the third power. Thank you for listening to the Third Power Life podcast. Before you go, one quick question for you. Where are you on the path of life? Are you just drifting through your life? Are you fully in command somewhere in between? Well, you can find out where you are now by taking my new Commander Survey. It will tell you where you are on your growth journey and how to move yourself to the next level. You can find the link on the screen or in the show notes. Now, all I want to know now is, where do you stand?